Dressed for the summertime. It's not summer yet.
I just seen Vito Boudreau, and then next thing you know, he said that he looked at me and said, "Oh, Charles, no, give me a break." Let me ask you a question. What do you think when they have it named the Anglophone School District and the Francophone School District? You think that's
What else
that's
are you
okay?
gonna call them?
Well, when we use, are you born here in New Brunswick?
Born, no.
No. How long have you been here?
31 years.
Remember when they used to have
32
District
years.
15, District
Yeah.
12, District 13? Now it's Francophone, Anglophone. Isn't that like an insult to the natives and different cultures that come to this province and say, okay, this is, you're going to go to the Anglophone School District or the Francophone School District?
Well, it's an improvement over the Protestant and Catholic school districts.
Yeah, they don't beat them up.
So there's that. I don't know. I mean, I never liked the big consolidation of the school districts in the first place. So I like to see us return to smaller school districts where there's more control over what's happening in the local schools. And same with our hospitals. You know, we should have. I don't like the horizon of vitality. I want to see smaller hospital regions, health regions, more local, more plugged into what's going on.
Yeah, but school, isn't it supposed to be a place of learning, not a place of language?
Well, but the reality is we have Anglophone schools and we have Francophone schools.
Okay, so what about the Mi'kmaq language, Malisit language? Is that an insult to them? Okay, you're no longer Malisit or Mi'kmaq. You are Anglophone or Francophone. Isn't that sort of put down their self-esteem?
To ask someone to see.
I'm asking you. You're the opposition. You don't give a damn. You can say anything you want. I just think
I guess I hadn't thought about it before.
Do I make sense for once?
Well, I mean, it is interesting as I think about it here out loud that they decided to go from numbered districts the way it was to naming them Anglophone and Francophone districts. I mean, it is reflective of the language of the schools.
But what about the Mi'kmaq and the Malisit? I mean...
yeah, well, I know, it's a big issue.
Why don't call it a nice name?
I mean, I'm less concerned in a way about that than the fact that we're not spending any time, money, or effort on trying to preserve and save the languages of the Malisit and Mi'kmaq.
So if you don't want Indians in our school district, we should just give them their own school, no?
Well, as they have, there are, of course, indigenous schools on the...
Indigenous, I hate that word.
Aboriginal, First Nation.
First Nation,
like
Indian, what's it called, the natives? I can't say.
The elementary schools are, right?
In the Anglophone school district, right?
No, they're aren't they? I think they're federal.
They're federal. Okay, so federal, they're not racist. Provincial is sort of like, okay, you Indians, we're not gonna say Malisit or we don't give a damn about your language. You're in the Anglophone.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, what if you're, Syrian or what if?
Exactly. Never mind Arabic.
Allophones.
Yeah.
Allophones.
Yeah, but is it time to get rid of that name?
I'd be just as happy if we just had numbered school districts like we did before. Easier to remember.
So if you put a the government don't want to show it's a different style of racism. Like you can't, in the old days you shoot the Indians. Now you give them cheap tobacco and because they don't pay the tax and they die a slow and painful death. And then you bring them to school and they used to beat them up if they spoke Indian. Now it's a different way. They just turn around and say, well, okay, this is the Anglophone. But it's brainwashed a little native kid saying, don't be proud to say you're Malisit or Mi'kmaq.
This gives me a chance to talk about my bill then.
Go ahead. You're in the opposition. You can say anything you want.
So I have a bill before the legislature to require the teaching of all of the kids about the realities for First Nations, the treaty relationship, the legacy of the residential schools, all of that, so that everybody learns the real history and the real sort of reality today.
Beautiful.
And I want the government to vote for it and support it and adopt it. But and the former education minister was very supportive.
Sarju said.
He's got a new job.
Yeah.
So
they all do.
So I'm not sure where it stands when we go back, but it's got to pass, because if we're going to start to work towards reconciliation and fighting racism and all of that, then our kids need to be well informed, and it needs to be done in a way that engenders respect, right?
Respect. Be proud of your culture.
All of that.
Yeah.
So, and understanding.
Yeah, understanding.
So that's the point of the bill. In fact, it actually would implement one of the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's report, action plan, whatever it was called. So, for me, that's a big priority, and people should be emailing the Premier to say, pass Bill 10.
Bill 10.
That's what it is, Bill 10.
So it could help to change the Francophone and Anglophone school district. Put it into another name that is acceptable. That even Dennis Cochran agreed with me last year. It doesn't sound. See, what started me on this for about 2 or 3 years. Support Bill 10. But on the radio every morning, the CBC on the CBC radio, the Anglophone school district, the Francophone school district. You hear that every morning, and it pisses me off.
I see your point.
You see my point? Hallelujah, there is a God.